Hey y'all, it's Raheel. I recently renewed my home and car insurance, and let me tell you, the process was exhausting. From filling out the same information multiple times to the endless spam calls, I was done. Well, that process is easier now. Coverage Cat is a better way to buy your car, home, and renter's insurance. You fill out one online form, they compare dozens of carriers to find your best policy, and you skip the sales calls. They'll do it all for you. Learn more and get your free optimized insurance quote today at coveragecat.com. Houston summers are legendary for their tag team attacks of hot days and mosquito-filled nights. But could our record heat be giving us a relief we never thought of? I'm bringing on a man who makes a living killing mosquitoes, Scott McGrath, the owner of McGrath Pest Control, to break it down and share some tips on how to fight back against summertime pests. It's Monday, July 10th, 2023. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. All right, we're going to be talking about mosquitoes, but a man who deals with all these pests and mosquitoes and ants and all this, Scott McGrath, is here. The man, the legend. How are you, Scott?
I'm good, Raheel. How are you, man? Been a long time.
I know, man. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to have you on CityCast. But before we talk about these mosquitoes and the heat, I got to ask you, you've been around the pest control game for a long time. What's the craziest thing you've seen when it comes to pests?
You know, it's funny. Yes, I've been around for about 24 years, and it's not necessarily the craziest insects or anything like that. It's usually the situations. It's the situation of what you encounter that is so crazy. I mean, there's certain things like a number of years ago, one of my employees had to go get a dead rat out of a wall, and as he opened up the wall, he went to grab it, and the rat just exploded all in him. And that was not good. that was bad. So many things like that, and then. Then I have another employee, Hawaii. Hawaii, who got attacked went to an attic, got attacked by two rabid raccoons, and so he had to fight his way out, and then he fell out of the attic, and luckily he's okay. That's fine. And other than that, just situations are crazy, and right now, man, one of the things that's going crazy are the Formosan termites. Man, we're seeing them everywhere, and those are the ones that kind of make me head scratch a lot, because like I always say that you learn something new every single year with termites, and with Formosan, you that makes you scratch your head, because you got to figure out where they're coming from, because they can get real bad. They get into the walls. If you don't get rid of them, it's not going to solve the problem.
Wow. All right. So let's talk about this new study that came out saying that the hot weather that we just had is going to be impacting mosquitoes, right? Explain this to me. Is this true? Are we going to be seeing less mosquitoes?
I hope not. Hope we're seeing more mosquitoes. But you know what? We may, if we continue to be 110 degree, 105 degree weather with no rain. Yes, that is really, really bad for mosquitoes. Even though they don't like cold weather, they don't like really, really hot weather as well. I mean, their ideal situation is usually 80 to 90 with high humidity. That's when they like to thrive, and those are what we call mosquito days. And so it depends. I mean, if we don't have any more rain or very little rain, and these temperatures stay super hot, then the mosquito population may be kind of down for a while.
So is this mosquito population going to be down for a couple of weeks, the rest of the summer? Like, what true impact is there from these hot days?
Man, I don't know. I mean, again, it all depends on the weather itself. If we could have like, I know there's storms out right now. So if it rains in the next day or two and stays kind of in the low 90s, then then the mosquitoes are going to start hatching again, because that's all they need is just a little bit of water to hatch. So it just kind of depends on there's a reason why it's called the dog days of summer. We get so hot and dry. So, I mean, it's a real good possibility that if we don't get a significant amount of rainstorms coming up, that the mosquitoes could, they could be diminished a lot.
That's really good to hear. Now, based on your experience,
it depends if it's good or bad. For you, it's good. For me, it's bad. But.
Yeah, that's true. Now, based on your experience, when are mosquitoes the worst in Houston?
Well, typically between anywhere from late spring to early fall is mosquito time, and then usually it's after big rainstorms, like we were just talking about. So anytime you have a lot of rains, where maybe the bushes are full and the grass it needs to be mowed, those are big mosquito times. That's when the eggs will hatch, and when they come out of hatching, they're hungry and they're looking for a blood source.
So I always see the counties and cities spraying
Hmm.
for mosquitoes, right? You hear the trucks go
Hmm.
around and you're excited. You're like, all right, they're taking care of this. One, how effective are those trucks?
Well, it depends. It depends on who's doing it and how they're doing it. I mean, if they're doing it correctly, yes, it can help. But like again, like I said, it just depends on how fast they do it. Are they running through there? Are they taking the time and putting a lot of the chemical out? There's certain things you can do around your house to help eliminate the mosquito population. One thing is you
Mm.
want to make sure there's no standing water, no stagnant water. Basically, just a bottle cap of water can produce thousands of eggs, of mosquito eggs. So you want to make sure all that's eliminated. You want to make sure the grass is cut on a regular basis. All the bushes are trimmed back, so where you don't have anything like that. That eggs the mosquitoes can hide and lay their eggs in, because they can even lay their eggs on the underside of a plant. If it stays wet or moist, they can do that.
Wow.
Also, too, you can get certain plants that help a little bit. Certain things like rosemary, citronella, things like that. Also, fans like box fans. If you're in the backyard and you want to make sure mosquitoes don't get in there, get a box fan and blow that air. That we got the circulation there. Mosquitoes can't thrive in movement air like that.
Well, gotcha. Those are really good tips. Yeah, that was going to be my second question is how do
Mm,
we, stop these mosquitoes around the house? But that's perfect. And these tips
hmm.
will hopefully, solve some of these issues. And if they don't, they just call you, right? That's the other thing.
No, 100%. Yes. Yes. If you don't want to do that, then you can give McGrath Pest Control a call. And we've got numerous different things that we can do, certain services, certain chemicals, lots of application methods that will really either cut down or eliminate mosquito population.
So Harris County Health, they found West Nile in a mosquito
Hmm.
that was trapped. How big of an issue is this going to be for the rest of the summer?
It can be, depending on, I guess, how populous the mosquitoes get. But, West Nile has always been a pretty big issue around here. And main reason is because there's not a vaccine, there's not a cream, there's not a pill, anything you can take that helps prevent it. And so basically, if the mosquito bites one person, then that has that, and then they can transpose it to another person, by bite. So that's how it gets spread around. So in order to kind of keep that happening, basically you just want to do things to help prevent you from getting bit. Things like staying indoors at dusk and at dawn, having a mosquito repellent, or wearing long sleeve shirts, or call McGrath Pest Control. Certain crazy things
Mm.
like that.
Now, look, you've been around bugs, as you mentioned, for so
Mm-hmm.
long, and this is
Mm-hmm.
just a personal question, okay? Look, there's a lot of bugs that do a lot of great things for the environment, and they're part of the ecosystem. But
Mm-hmm.
mosquitoes don't do anything, right? Like they're just annoying. We have to kill them, right?
Oh, we have to. Yes, yes, we have to kill them because, again, like I said, they can transmit diseases. Or I just saw in the news today where some people have gone down with malaria. Now, I don't think that's here in town, but
Mm,
it's you get that through mosquito bites. So yes, it
yeah.
can get very very dangerous around.
You kind of hint on this in the beginning, but other
Hmm.
pests and other bugs during the summer months, what do we
Hmm.
see an increase on, and what should listeners be aware of?
So during the summer months, we get lots of calls for all the general stuff: roaches, ants, spiders, fire ants, the little rover crazy ants. We get lots of those. Even like I said, termites, and a little bit of rodents. We get a lot of that too. In order to prevent that, there's other than calling us. There's certain things. The main things that are always kind of a staple for pest prevention is sanitation. a lot of pest issues occur through sanitation. So if you got food and grease and dirt and trash, you want to clean that up. You want to get rid of that out of your house. And then also too, seal up areas that a lot of roaches and spiders and ants can get into, like around window ledges, around drains, things like that. So pest prevention is a big way to help eliminate a lot of pest issues.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, those are definitely good tips. And
Hmm.
again, stay clean and,
Hmm.
be on the lookout for those holes because those are so important. That hot weather, everyone's trying to come inside that cool air, huh?
Oh, 100%. I mean, insects, just like humans, want to come in out of the heat, and they're coming in for moisture, for water, for food. And so if they, like a roach, I mean, they can flatten their body and get in between the door. Um, a termite can get into 1/64th of an inch of an area, and so they can get in your house. They'll find little areas, and that's our job, is to figure out how they're coming in, and where to treat, and where to place the chemical, if we even do need to use chemical. A lot of times now the industry is kind of moving more toward IPM, which is kind of a monitoring type of situation where we try and use less and less chemicals to do that. But like I tell all my guys that we always have to think like a bug. That's our kind of our go-to slogan, is always think like a bug, because you got to put yourself in their shoes, as where, how are they getting in the house, and where are they coming from.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Final thing. You're out and about. You're not
Hmm.
stopping from being outside in the summer months
Hmm.
with all the mosquitoes. And you being an expert
Hmm.
in this industry, you got to tell me, what mosquito repellent do you use? Because
Oh.
I need to know what the experts are using.
No, it's just old basic off. Off works good, or anything with DEET. DEET, yeah, DEET is good. Usually just off. Off is the go-to brand that you want to have.
Perfect. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for all these great tips.
Thank you, Raheel.
That was Scott McGrath. You can learn more about McGrath Pest Control with the link in our show notes. Before we go, traffic heading to Katy and Cypress is not going to be getting better anytime soon. These two Houston suburbs are making national news in Open Door's hottest zip codes list. Katy's 77497 was named the third hottest zip code for buyers in the nation, and Cypress's 77433 came in at number 7 nationwide. That is impressive. The list looked at home buying data from 2022 and other factors. Check out the entire list in our show notes. That will do it for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new. Hold on. I'm going to start. I can't hear. Hold on, Scott. You're going in and out. Dina, is there